Next question is about parking. Parking is a deterrent to the growth of downtown. There's a shortage of parking and it's costly. Many suburbanites used to free parking, find parking issues make them reluctant to go downtown. What do you believe is a reasonable approach for the city to take regards to a parking policy and a plan?
First, we've got to disabuse people that parking in the suburbs is free. It just happens to be folded into the cost of doing business. You can't put out that much asphalt and it's free. So people are paying for parking whether they realize it or not. Secondly, we need to recognize that there's more land for parking in the suburbs than in the city. Land is scarce. But saying all of that, I think we do have to find ways to make downtown more friendly to businesses and customers. We need to figure out ways to unrestrict the amount of parking spaces. And this is not easily, it's not just taking away the parking meters, because think about the number of people who work downtown, who just come and park that car at 8 o'clock in the morning and go to work and leave it parked on the street all day. Unless you find a way to restrict it, you've got to turn it over. So I think that we have to recognize that this is a precious commodity and we have to find a way, and I think that there are ways, and I believe the city, and I think the city has been examining ways to really expand the amount of on-street parking, to essentially make it free, to restrict it to 1 or 2 hours, and to ensure that through something that Mr. White doesn't like, aggressive enforcement of the parking rules, that those spaces are available throughout the day for everyone.
You're mischaracterizing me there, Bill. As a small business owner, I am for parking, lots of it. And I'm for it being free. It's not the parking regulations I believe are too strict. It's much of the other code that's too strict, but I digress. What we need to do with parking is re-envision it. We need more on-street parking, but we need to develop our downtown. We need, if we instead, in looking at parking as a problem, look at it as an opportunity. If we find ways to put in a circulating system, of which there's already a plan on the books for downtown, and put the parking outside the area and make it convenient and inexpensive to move from outside parking to other areas in the downtown, we can solve that problem. But parking is more than about downtown. As a business owner on Monroe Avenue, we need more parking on Monroe Avenue, and Thurston, and Joseph, and Clinton, and South, and I can go on. We need more parking everywhere, and we need to consider ways in which we can convert some of the vacant properties and some of the properties the city owns into community parking to foster more business growth, not just downtown, but all over.
As I said earlier, we don't actually have a parking problem right now downtown. We have a walking problem. People aren't willing to walk 2 or 3 blocks to the parking that's available. And the reasons for that are many, but one of them is that downtown is not as inviting now as it would be. We need more people downtown, we need more contact downtown. The things that are underway right now to do it. There is a study underway as part of the redoing of downtown altogether that envisions some system of transporting people to the periphery of downtown where they can park. So everybody hasn't got to be right next to their building. We can't do that. You know, that's not a solvable way of approaching this. We have to approach it another way. Bill's right. Parking in the suburbs is not free. However, it's a good deal cheaper than it is downtown. And that's a reality for the people who work there. It's a reality for the way we have to create these garages and other things. So I think there's a balance here. There's a balance here between creating a situation in which people have ready access so we don't discourage them in the reality of the environment we're in right now, but that access doesn't simply dominate downtown in a way that discourages people from being there. You know, I've often said to people, you know what I wish we had downtown? I wish we had more of a parking problem. I wish the demand was so great that we really couldn't get all those cars in there. To tell you the truth, I wish you couldn't get through that light at Main and Clinton on one shot. I wish you had to wait a little while. In fact, downtown, if you think about it, has been designed for evacuation. It was built, you know, and that made sense because you had Midtown. Remember, you went into Midtown, you came up in Midtown. They didn't want you to go anywhere else because everything was right there. You go across the bridge to Sibley's, You go back, you get your car, and boom, you're out of town in no time flat. That's not the way we want it now. We want it back into two-way streets. We want parking along those streets. We want wider sidewalks, and we want to move the cars to the periphery. And that's a process that's underway today. It will take a while because, again, as I said before, you have to sort of re-envision the way downtown is. It's no longer a central parking or a central shopping district in which people come to shop and stay inside. Take a while, but we can do it.